Welcome, dear students of Sheikh Vidya Mandir English High School and Junior College. Students, do you know that happiness begins from the moment you do something for others? Those who consistently help others are happy and do not come across any obstacles in their lives. Research indicates or proves that they are less stressed and experience good mental health. The purpose of life is to serve others. However, when you do so, you should not expect anything in return. Your attention should be to lessen other people's misery. Like service to others should be sincere and done from the heart. Only then it is fruitful. Isn't it, students? Don't you think it is a real truth of life? Take for an example of a tree. Does tree eats its own fruits? Does a tree eats its own fruit? Naturally, no. The answer is no, it doesn't eat. This message teaches us that human beings should not only use their mind, body, and speech for themselves, but also to serve others. When you do this, nature in return will reward you for the same. Isn't it? Right or no, students? Yes? So, students, our today's topic is something related to this only. That is on happiness. That is, happiness begins from the moment you do something for others. As we will be seeing in our today's poem, that is The Pilgrim, by the poet who is unknown to us, that is an anonymous poem, Standard 8th, Lesson 1.3. So before we begin, we will be reading out the poem, followed by the difficult words and the meaning of the poem. A pilgrim going a lone highway came at evening cold and grey. Two chasms, deep and vast and wide, the old man crossed in the twilight dim. The chasm held no fear for him, but he paused when he reached the other side, and built a bridge to span the tide. Let's understand each line. Now, who's a pilgrim? Have you heard we are going for a pilgrimage? A holy place. When you go to worship a holy place, it is called as a pilgrimage. Now, the one who goes is called as a pilgrim. A person who journeys to a sacred place for religious reasons are called as a pilgrim. Going alone. Lone is already a lonely person, a person who has no companions or who goes alone. We almost go with our families, but sometimes we don't have anyone, you have to alone travel to that pilgrim. Came at evening cold and grey. He was walking all the way, he was cold and grey, he was feeling very dull and very weak. To chasm is what now? A deep narrow opening in a rock or a steep gap in the earth's surface. Nothing but a deep, what you call as a deep path, you can say, a deep way, you can say, where you can't see. When you see, you get scared, right? To chasm deep and vast and wide. It was very deep, it was very vast and also wide. They are almost similar. Vast and wide means the same. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. What's a twilight? It's a soft glowing light from the sky. Now, particularly to tell you what's a twilight. Twilight is a time when the sun sets and the moonlight is about to come. Like it is about to get dark and it is about to become night. That is called as a twilight dim. Any particular time when one part of the day ends and the other part of the day starts. The chance held no fear for him. Now the old man was very experienced with life and he has already crossed difficult places. So he was very courageous. He didn't have any fear. But he paused when he reached the other side. When he was crossing the chasm which was being built, it was a bridge where they were supposed to cross. When he crossed that bridge, he waited and stayed back to understand that the bridge is not completely proper. He thought of pausing the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. What's a span the tide? To cross the tide. It was a deep way over there, and to cross that path, he wanted to build a bridge or to repair that particular bridge. So, in the first stanza, what did we understand? The old man shows his concern for other people who are traveling from the same path. The old man, while crossing a moving river, sees a tide that can create trouble for some people coming after him. So, what he thought is, after crossing the river, he decides to construct the bridge to save travelers from danger. That was his concern for the people. Moving to the next stanza. Old man, said a pilgrim near, why waste your time in building here? Your journey ends with the close of the day. You never again will pass this way. You have crossed the chance deep and wide. Why build ye here at eventide? What does the second stanza say? Old man said, a fellow pilgrim near. Now, this fellow pilgrim is of a middle age. You don't know particularly the age. A fellow person is known as the other pilgrim or worshippers who are traveling that same path. Whenever you go for a pilgrimage, you don't go every now and then. You go to a very far place once, maybe sometime once in a lifetime, or maybe if you are very much used to the place, you keep traveling to that place. So he's asking, why waste your time in building here? Why are you building this path when you've already crossed it? Your journey ends with the close of the day. As he was passing, the day was over, and he has already passed that journey, that entire way he has passed. You never again will pass this way. You're never again going to come back. And whenever you will come back, it is not necessary you will get the same way. You have crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build ye here at eventide? Now, ye is an archaic word which means you. You can say an old English word which means you. Here at eventide. Eventide is late in the evening, a part of the day which is late. That is, you already passed it and it is already dark. Now it's already dark, you cannot work, right? Because you can't see. And this man wanted to repair that bridge or build that bridge which was very difficult maybe for others. So the man in the second stanza, what did we understand? The old man is constructing the bridge. A fellow traveler comes along and asks the reason for his hard work. To him, the old man has already crossed the river. Hence, the pilgrim feels that the old man is wasting his time and putting efforts on it. Moving to the third stanza, this is the next stanza. The pilgrim raised his old grey head. My friend, in the path I have come, he said. There followeth after me today a fair-haired youth who must pass this way. The chasm which held no fears for me, to the fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. My friend, I am building this bridge for him. It's anonymous poet, okay? So what happened exactly in the third stanza? The pilgrim raised his old grey head. Now the pilgrim wanted to reply this man. So he raised his old grey head, is nothing but his grey hair on his head. And as a whole person, so he raised his head. My friend, in the path I have come. The path which he took to come, he says, there followeth after me today. Followeth is someone who is following back from that same way. A fair-haired youth, a young youth or a young man or an unexperienced man who must pass this way. He is also going to pass the same way. The chasm which held no fears for me, he says he is not scared of the chasm because it did not carry him fear because he is already prepared. He have to be careful and move carefully. To the fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. What's a pitfall over here? Unexpected danger or a sudden difficulty which you have to face on the spot. Sometimes it happens you don't know what's the difficulty you're going to face. Suddenly you are, like, take for example when you sit for exams, you know which questions are easy, which are difficult, and you're not prepared which questions are going to come. So the difficult ones come, how you get little panic. Same way, here it might be a pitfall for this young man. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Twilight dim is, again I told you, part when the day ends and the other part of the day begins. The mid part or the light which is seen at that time is called as twilight. My friend, I am building this bridge for him. He says he has seen one young man coming from behind who is unexperienced and he is building the bridge specially for him, which means he is building for the other coming people or the people following after him. Let's understand the third stanza again. Now what happened exactly to his surprise? The old man answers that it is a kind help for those who are on their way to get across the water. Being experienced, he has easily passed the chasm, unharmed, but the inexperienced young generations may fail to do so. Therefore, he is paving the way, or he is making the way for them. And this act shows his generosity and concern for the future generation and travelers. And the part which he built will always represent his love, right? And it will stay here, there, even when the old man is not there. Yes or no, students? When we try to help others, do you wait for the return to come? No, you try, you help out, and then you don't want anything in return. This is what the nature of that old man was also. He wanted to help out for other people. No doubt it was not helped earlier. He didn't get a help, but he wanted to help his people of the upcoming generation. Like in the picture, you can see how deep that valley and the river is flowing water. You can see the bridge over there, right? That way, that was the status over there. Moving ahead to the paraphrase, let's understand what the poet talks about. The pilgrim describes an old pilgrim as he journeys along a lonely highway. He fearlessly manages to cross a deep chasm late in the evening. But as soon as he reaches the other side of the bridge, he stops his journey in the midway and takes effort to build a bridge across it. When a fellow pilgrim watches this, he asks the old man the reason as to why he is wasting time building the bridge when he has already crossed it. Even though the old man knows that he himself will never ever have the chance to cross the bridge again. The old man explains that though he has crossed the chasm without fear, he is concerned about the young inexperienced travelers who might pass the chasm after him. He adds that he is building this bridge for the youth so that the young man might avoid the trouble of crossing the chasm after sunset. Sunset means it's already dark and you don't know what difficulty you're going to face, right? Like for example, if you go to a forest, you are naturally very scared if it's already dark. What is there down? You don't know which animal is going to come to you. Same as the status over here. Let's move to the appreciation of the poem, the important part. The title of the poem is The Pilgrim, is written by an anonymous poet. The theme of the poem is that the poet highlights the importance of selflessness and unconditional giving to others. Also being kind and generous to everyone by offering a helping hand, even to the unknown. The rhyme scheme for the first stanza is A, B, C, B and D. For the second stanza it is A, B, C. And third stanza it is A, B, C, D respectively. The poet has used many figures of speech to enhance the beauty of the poem, like interrogation, tautology, inversion, alliteration, etc. For example, in the line, to a chasm deep and vast and wide is a tautology because the words vast and wide convey similar meaning. Let's understand few figures of speech which have been seen in the poem. The first one is tautology. What is tautology? If two or more words in the same line convey the same meaning, the figure of speech in that line is called as tautology. Example from the poem, to a chasm deep and vast and wide. The words vast and wide convey similar meaning. We also see in the poem inversion. What is inversion? It is a literary technique in which the normal order of words is reversed, means the sentence is not in a proper order, generally for emphasis or special effects. It makes a sentence sound striking or unusual. If the sentence are not in correct order, you feel, oh, it's incorrect. Came at evening cold and grey, to a chasm deep and vast and wide. Now what's the correct order of the sentence? Came on a cold and grey evening to a deep and wide and vast chasm. To the fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. Again you have inversion over here. The correct order of the prose is, it may be a pitfall to the fair-haired youth. One more figure of speech we'll be doing, that's personification. When inanimate object or ideas are given human quality, it is called as personification. There's a line, a pilgrim going a lone highway. Now alone, can a highway go alone? A pilgrim can go. A pilgrim going alone highway, alone. It's a quality, a loneliness, a quality is given to a person and not for an object. So the adjective lone is a human quality given to highway, which is an inanimate object. We also see interrogations in the second stanza, right? When question is asked in order to create a dramatic effect and not to get an answer in the poem, it is said to be interrogation. Why waste your time in building here? Students, you may refer your earlier poem also, the first poem what we did, and again repeat those figures of speech. Moving to the conclusion as to what did we understand or learn from this poem. The poem comprises the unselfish and caring attributes of an old man who tries to save the upcoming generation from obstacles. It gives us a message that we should always help the younger ones by sharing past experience and helping them to secure their future. It helps in inculcating the values of generosity and kindness in oneself by setting an example for others. It also shows the older generation care and concern for the younger ones. I hope you have learned a very good message from this poem. Time for some assessment now. The first one is pick out words from the poem to fill in the web. They should be related to the theme of the web. The first one is travel. The web has to be filled. Now, what words can you pick out which are related to the poem? I think from the travel we have words related to highway. We have got a way, journey, path. These are the words used for the word travel. Time around sunset. What are the words related to the word time around sunset? The first word we did was twilight. We can even use the word evening, sunset. We can even use the word eventide and even close of day. Okay. The second one is match. The following you have to just pair up the words which are related to the words in A and B column. The next one we have is write 3 qualities of each of the following. The old pilgrim. What was the quality of the old pilgrim? The fellow pilgrim and the young pilgrim. You may put up your own words which relate to the poem. Now again we are going to do 2 lines that contain inversion. We have already done it. Pick out 1 line each that contains the following figures of speech, that is tautology, personification and interrogation. That too we have done it. I hope you have understood and enjoyed the lesson and taken a good message. Thank you.